Hi, welcome. This video is all about Tata Motors, and Tata Motors posted this result. Today is 26th of July. So let's do a quick chart analysis कि Tata Motors क्या हो सकती है और there's a lot of questions. So let's dive in, right? So ये एक monthly chart है. यहाँ पे हम देख सकते हैं कि ये जो blue line है, so this has been acting like a monthly resistance. और यहाँ पे हम देख सकते हैं कि ये 360 levels जो हमारा actually एक मीडियम टर्म टारगेट भी था जब टाटा मोटर्स इन लेवल्स पे थी, और इस पे बारे में मैंने ट्वीट भी किया था। और फिर मैंने एक लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टमेंट बुक एक वीडियो बनाया था जो अपर राइट हैंड कॉर्नर में है, जिसमें एक्सप्लिसिटली हमने टाटा मोटर्स का एनालिसिस किया था और हमने बोला था कि देन इट वाज अराउंड अबाउट हियर 240 250 260 रीजन में, and our medium target was 360, and the logic was this particular blue line. And now you see that Tata Motors has already ascertained that logic. Now let's quickly look into the particular scenario of अभी Tata Motors कैसी चल रही है. So basically you can see this was in a range since February, and this is a very common structure which you will find in most of the Nifty 50 companies. And then eventually every time it touches, there is always a retracement, and then it gets support from this lower channel and it goes, and this was again the fourth or fifth time जहाँ पे Tata Motors faced resistance. So you can see it was facing resistance here and then here, टू यहाँ पे तीन चार और यहाँ पे पांच बार. So basically it has been facing resistance a lot on these particular levels, but the game changed because of this big fat red candle, which was a news flow based management commentary based move, or Tata Motors eventually was never able to cope with this. And this is a very good known fact, because you can see this blue line which is actually coming from the monthly resistance. So it met the target, and then eventually you can see that whenever this was a sort of a very good shorting pattern, जहाँ पे ये 340 बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट लेवल 3. और अगर मैं एक्चुअली 1 आवर में जाऊँ तो यू विल पर्टिकुलरली सी दैट व्हेन 340 और मे बी इवन स्मॉलर टाइम फ्रेम. So if we actually move to smaller time frames, and so theoretically what I'm trying to showcase here is that 340 was a very important level, and Tata Motors breaking this particular level of support was the one which actually triggered this fall. Fall के बाद then we were waiting, and here you can see that this blue line emerged, which was sort of a short term support. और ये एक बहुत ही typical एक flag and pole pattern है. एंड देन इवेंचुअली स्टार्टेड ट्रेडिंग. एंड यहाँ पे हमने जब भी डिस्कस किया है टाटा मोटर्स इन द लास्ट फ्यू सेशंस, मैंने एक्सप्लिसिटली बोला था कि 306 शुड बी अ वेरी स्ट्रिक्ट स्टॉप लॉस लेवल इफ यू आर इन लॉन्ग, एंड दिस इज एक्जैक्टली व्हाट हैपेंड, बिकॉज इवन इफ यू डोंट प्लेस स्टॉप लॉस, द मार्केट इज गोइंग टू प्लेस इट. एंड इवेंचुअली यू कैन सी दैट यहाँ पे वो जब ये ब्रेक करके जब नीचे आई, एंड देन थियोरेटिकली फ्रॉम देयर इट वाज जस्ट डाउन हिल. सो हियर इट्स 306 ओवर हियर, and so it breached, it tried to enter and it was unable, and now you can see it went straight towards 291. So abhi ye sab information we already do have. Tata Motors have posted its results. There is I am seeing ki from a result analysis perspective, we have to think of why is a stock particularly falling, and why is the stock particularly increasing or is going higher. Before I go into all this discussions, let me also quickly show you one thing, that this is a very important level, and you can see this particular blue line. So this has been acting like a very good medium term support. और ये कोरोना के डाउनफॉल के बाद जो भी रिवर्सल आई है, सो टाटा मोटर्स हैव ऑलवेज बीन अगर हम डेली चार्ट में देखते हैं तो हमेशा यहाँ से आके एक अच्छी कंसोलिडेशन के बाद एक अप मूव आती है. So no matter what, you should also use this particular line for all your future analysis. Of course, going forward, अभी ये बहुत ही नीचे दिख रही है, is around about 220 240 levels. So this is just for your information. So अभी हम देख रहे हैं कि ये जो रेंज में थी, अभी ये रेंज से ब्रेकआउट हुई है, and since last 3-4 sessions ये रेंज के नीचे चल रही है. This itself is not a good sign, in the sense that this would definitely mean that people who have actually created shorts, they are actually not मतलब उनमें वो डर नहीं है कि द मार्केट इज गोइंग टू गो अगेंस्ट देम. सो दिस इटसेल्फ, एंड स्पेशली आज जो रिजल्ट आने वाली थी, एंड स्टिल आई कैन सी दैट देयर इज ओनली अ वेरी स्मॉल रिडक्शन इन द shorts, and so people are still very much comfortable in carrying of shorts. So this is actually a very good scenario, because in this whenever a particular segment of the market, just like by segment I mean कि एक long segment हो, एक long ग्रुप होती है और एक शॉर्ट ग्रुप होती है, जिनकी हमेशा कॉन्ट्रडिक्टिंग व्यूज रहेंगी इन एवरी सॉर्ट ऑफ मार्केट. सो यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम अ साइकोलॉजिकल पर्सपेक्टिव. सो थियोरिटिकली इट हैज़ पोस्टेड अ ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ लॉस, विच इज़ बेटर देन क्वार्टर ऑन क्वार्टर. सो क्वार्टर ऑन क्वार्टर में अगर आप अगर एनालिसिस करते हो, सो इट्स गुड. But again, it's a bad from estimate. But I personally, अगर मुझे कोई बोले, so I would really suggest that TataMotors didn't do anything out of the ordinary which was not known, and this itself is a very good news, in the sense कि going forward, the management has portrayed a very good sort of a reversal path. Now what I'm saying is, it's not like it's going to take just immediately कल से ही, ऐसा नहीं है मार्केट ओपन से ही एकदम forward march करेगा. But going forward, I think this was a very good commentary from the management, and of course semiconductor की shortage है, and the management said that Q2 में semiconductor shortage will be more than that of Q1. Unfortunately, I really don't think so. And हमारी I also work in one automotive company, and so we also have the same problems, and this is the same problem which even the JLR is facing. The Jaguar Land Rover group is also facing, and this is something which everyone in the auto industry knows about. So this is nothing like out of the blue. So it's very much like the corona का second wave जैसा news है. It's a bad news. A lot of people had a lot of pain and a lot of anguish and a lot of suffering which they had go through, but the market was sort of moving in one direction. और यही मुझे लगता है कि is actually thing is this is not going to surprise the market. And going forward, I think this 290 levels may turn out to be a very good sort of support. फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, अगर कल गैप डाउन से खुल के ये अगर 265 या 280 इसके रेंज में खुलती है, सो द स्ट्रैटेजी फॉर यू शुड बी वेरी सिंपल. यू शुड वेट फॉर द फर्स्ट हाफ एन आवर 1 आवर फॉर ऑल द बिग बुल्स टू फाइट, क्योंकि यहाँ पे बहुत सारे पोजीशंस लॉन्ग में और शॉर्ट में बना के बैठे हैं लॉन्ग बिग प्लेयर्स. यू डोंट वांट टू बी द वन हु एक्चुअली गेट्स इन बिटवीन देम. उनको फाइट आउट करने दो, और फिर इवेंचुअली द मार्केट विल शो यू इन विच पर्टिकुलर ट्रेंड एंड इन विच पर्टिकुलर वे दिस इज गोइंग टू गो. From a resistance perspective, of course you can see that a very strong resistance is 306, and ये हमारा पहले भी वही strategy था कि हम 315-16 से 306 इसी range को हम लोग कर रहे थे, and this was exactly this particular blue line. So try to have this because even if it's able to merge and move above 306, it will absolutely face a resistance around about at 315. So keep these two numbers in mind, 306 and 316, और इसके last pass आके there should be a sort of a reversal. And from a support perspective, it would be awesome if this is able to maintain the levels of 385, say for example, or 285. And so if the opening is below 280, then I think it will be more of a people trying to close their shots, and so don't get trapped into it अगर बहुत ज़्यादा गैप डाउन होती है. बट इफ़ द मार्केट ओपन्स राउंड अबाउट ओवर हियर और एटलीस्ट अबव 285, then going forward I think there can be a good trading opportunity. but in general I would say that all of this other than this one and this next bar which came in, so 320 would be a very good a reversal zone जहाँ पे हम लोगों को बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस मिलेगी कि गोइंग फॉरवर्ड टाटा मोटर्स इज गोइंग टू give us a good move. In general, there are in general these companies of Nifty 50 after they are posting the results, there's a drastic fall, and I think this can also happen with a company like Tata Motors. And if that happens, then theoretically try to see if it is you are able to get it around about 240. So that would definitely be a very good sort of interim a very good sort of support for now. But in general, I would suggest that this semiconductor story is being played out as a big story right now, because the media has to sell you some stories why a particular stock is falling. But I personally, I really don't think that this semiconductor is going to be a problem. It can be a problem for a particular quarter. It can be a problem for a few weeks, a few months. But definitely going forward, the price will automatically get adjusted, and theoretically, Tata Motors should be able to move forward. Personally, I really don't see any of this as a biggest as a unique challenge which only Tata Motors is facing. This is a whole of this automotive sector around the world is facing, and so this is something which might be helpful for you to trying to accumulate Tata Motors. Of course, I don't trade much in I don't trade in options for these counters unless and until I have to hedge my cash positions, and right now I have no positions in cash. और ये मैंने बहुत पहले ही बोला था, after this particular fall I was waiting for it to move up above 320 levels, and then eventually I also traded once where I booked out at 318, जो मैं ट्वीट भी किया था लाइव मार्केट में. और अभी मेरे पास ना कोई शॉर्ट है ना कोई लॉन्ग पोजीशंस हैं. डेफिनेटली इट डजंट मेक सेंस फॉर मी टू गो अहेड एंड शॉर्ट टाटा मोटर्स in this particular market, क्योंकि इस market में there are two things which are working. The first is it's an index stock, and it's a good portfolio stock, and it has have had a very good sort of downfall, and then a very nice consolidation and a very good a rounding bottom forming, and then it's moving up. So of course it doesn't make sense to short these counters just for 5 or 6 rupees. Rather my strategy is more to accumulate these stocks for in my long term investment portfolio, और इसके बारे में मैं वीडियो भी बनाया था. So it's chances like this is, that gives you this particular ऐसे ही क्वार्टर्स के ख़राब न्यूज़ पे ही आप इन्वेस्ट करते हो for your portfolio, and I think this is one of the opportunities. From trading perspective, I really don't see that even if there is a gap down below 280, that would be something of a pain. But अगर 285 के ऊपर में अगर ओपनिंग हुई, I really don't think that there would be much more for the market to do. Of course, this big players they will try to square up their positions, and going forward आज मैं देखा कि from a data point of view the people are actually more interested in covering their shorts. So of course the way forward is there are two ways. एक है कि the price can go up if people are trying to cover their shorts, और इट कैन गो अप इफ़ पीपल इनिशिएट लॉन्ग्स. ये दोनों में बहुत ही डिफरेंट फ़र्क होता है, और ये फ़र्क जानने के लिए हमें कल मार्केट का इंतज़ार करना होगा. होप दिस वीडियो इज़ गोइंग टू गिव यू सम आइडिया. इन जनरल ये जो ब्लू लाइन है, जो भी रंग है इसका, whatever is the color, I really don't I'm not good with colors. So in general you can see that from here, if it is able to maintain a 280 284 level, then it should be good. If it bounces towards 260, don't go and buy that dip, because eventually it is going to eventually it's going to come over here, and this is exactly your good support for medium term, and eventually it will, if it ever comes around about at 230 240, try to accumulate and try to put it in your portfolio, and then just wait for a few quarters, and eventually you will end up in a good profit. Thanks a lot for listening. Hope this video is giving you some idea of how I am thinking of about Tata Motors. And of course, market is supreme. So let's see how things pan out in tomorrow's session. And as always, please consult your financial advisor before making any investments or trading calls, because I'm not registered, and I am just trying to give you this information as an educational purpose, and the way I see this particular counter on this particular market. The market is really good, and so I really don't see why Tata Motors couldn't be able to take a support from 280 to 85 levels. Thanks a lot for listening, and bye bye.